Welcome to Career Uprising. I'm your host and professional career coach, Lorraine Rise. Join me as I guide you through an amazing journey of self-discovery and empowerment. If you are looking for work, changing careers, or stuck in a toxic job, then this is the show for you. I offer both practical and spiritual guidance to help you up-level and advance your career. Let's start the uprising. Hey everybody, you're listening to episode 37, Make More Money, Part 2. Hey everyone, Lorraine here. How you doing? I hope that you are doing wonderful. I am amazing. I really am. 2019 is off to a great start, and we had kind of a surprise little snowstorm today. It was beautiful to watch out the window. I'm based here in Northern Virginia, just a little bit west of DC, and we weren't expecting that, but it was beautiful. I feel very lucky, very blessed to be able to sit here in my home office and just be going about my workday and see that gorgeous snow out there. So luckily I didn't have to go out in it too much, but that was my day today. So thank you so much for joining me. This is part 2 of my little brief series here on how to make more money in 2019. Don't you want to do that? Of course you do. I do. We all do, but yet so many of us don't know how to do it. And I'm guessing a lot of you have that as a goal, right? For 2019, you want more income. Of course you do. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a great thing. You should pursue that, okay? But you're probably not going about it the right way. You might not be. So we're going to find out today. You are in the right place for a lesson on that. So that's our topic for today, but really quick, before we dive into that, I actually have a listener question, yay, that came through email a couple of days ago, and so we're reaching into the mailbag today. And if this speaks to you, if you want to do the same, I would love for you to email me, Lorraine at careeruprising.com. Heck, you can even send it to me in Facebook. I've had people send me questions that way too, or LinkedIn, whatever it is, I'll get it, but I love listener questions. So this question comes from one of my followers, Cindy. Cindy says, Lorraine, I have read and will continue to read your columns and articles on your website. I find them very informative and useful. Thank you, Cindy. Love that. Appreciate it. Thank you. She says also, I work as a full-time administrative assistant, and I've been looking to switch to a different employer, still in the community college area as an executive assistant. And she says she's had 2 interviews, called back for another one, and then another one. So she's had multiple interviews here. And she says, I'm the final of 2 candidates, but I always seem to lose out to internal candidates. They always seem to win out in the end. And the employer's reason is that the internal candidate would, quote, make the transition easier. How can I compete with that? It gets so discouraging to be so close. Girl, I feel your pain. No, really, I do. I actually can remember, I don't know, maybe about 5 years ago, when I had been laid off from working at Jenny Craig. I think it was 2013, and I was interviewing for jobs in human resources, and I remember this one in particular, and I loved the job. The interview went great. The people were so nice. I thought I did a really good job, and I did. But when I got feedback from them, they said, you were really good. We really liked you, Lorraine, but we ended up hiring an internal candidate. But they basically told me that I was like the next choice, right? So, what a bummer. So Cindy, I totally know how you feel. And, so the thing is, internal candidates definitely are attractive to employers for a number of reasons, right? It's obviously a lot simpler to get them acclimated. They're already in the company, right? So we already know that they fit into the culture. which is great. And they might even be less expensive too, depending on how much that external talent is. So it's a quicker transition. There's already a high level of trust and fitting into the culture. It probably saves money on training and things like that. It's hard to compete with that. It really is. You could go up there and do the most knockout interview, seriously, and still lose to an internal candidate. But here's what I will say: I don't think that that you're powerless in this situation. This is a really, really good question. And the funny thing is, when Cindy emailed this to me, she didn't even intend for me to read it on air, but I loved this question so much that I said, I have to read this on the show. I want to. So here's what you can do. Okay. Here's what I told Cindy in email, and here's what I'm going to tell you. Okay. There is at least one distinct benefit to being an external candidate. And that is that you bring a fresh perspective, right? You are being an outsider can be a good thing. You're not entrenched in the culture. You have fresh ideas, and often coming from a competitor, and that's significant. That could be a really attractive thing. So keep that in mind. And this is what I would do. When you're interviewing, it's perfectly appropriate and okay for you to ask them, are there any internal candidates that you're considering right now for this role? You can ask that. People ask all the time, how did this position come open? How many people are you interviewing for it? So why not ask, are there any internal candidates that you're considering? And if they say yes, then that is your opportunity to emphasize your fresh outside perspective and what you've learned at other companies that you think would be valuable to bring here. And if you want to take it even a step further, I would recommend even suggesting one or two things that you intend to accomplish in your first maybe 90 days to show them that you would be able to quickly acclimate and that you have a plan. So there you go. How about that? Okay. Turns out there is a little something you can do to beat out an internal candidate. And it's just kind of a part of the job search. Hopefully it doesn't happen too often, but it's happened to me. So I definitely understand that. And thank you, Cindy, for that great question that no one has ever asked me before. Can you believe that? No one's ever asked me that question. So that's why I wanted to give it a little bit of attention. So like I said, if you too have a question, email me, Lorraine@careeruprising.com, or send it to me on social media, and chances are good you will get it answered on air. You're welcome. All right. So let's get back into our topic. We're talking this week again about money. So really, really quick. If you didn't hear the first episode, after this, go ahead, go back. It'll still be valuable. It's right there on infloradio.com. But let's recap what we talked about in the first episode just for a second. So if you didn't hear it, you can go back and listen to it. But we talked about mindset, okay? The first step to changing anything in your life, and money is no exception, is to look at your belief system. You will never make more money if you don't believe it's possible. You will never make more money if you don't believe it's possible. This is your biggest barrier. Not only possible, but likely. Because there's plenty of things in the world that I think are possible, but I still don't really think they're going to happen. It's possible I could get bitten by a snake tomorrow when I walk outside my house, but I don't really think it's going to happen. So let me just make that distinction really quick too. But that is the first thing. So, I'm going to share with you one of my mantras. This is something that kind of like an affirmation that I say to myself a lot. Money is a renewable resource. That's right. Money is a renewable resource. You can make more. And this is important because there are many things in life that aren't. Time, for example, is not a renewable resource. It can't be made up again, so far as we know, right? Maybe that's a whole nother debate. Your loved ones, people, are not a renewable resource. God forbid something should happen to them. They're not replaceable. But when put into that perspective, money is replaceable. There's not a limit on how much you could potentially make in your life. If you lose $20 that falls out of your wallet tomorrow, you can make it up the next day and then some. Money is a renewable resource. This is a game-changing belief if you really adopt it. Most people believe, oh, money is limited, hard to come by. No, it isn't. It's a renewable resource. You can make more. There's always more floating around on the planet. We're printing more of it every day. Whether that's a good thing or not, I don't know. But it's true. We're printing more of it every day, right? So I want you to change that fundamental thought if you change nothing else. All right? That is a game-changing belief. So once you've digested that, I want you then to also expand your thinking when it comes to how money can come into your life. And this is where we really get hung up on how is it going to happen, all right? Well, up until now, you've probably thought that a traditional 9-to-5 job is how you're going to make your money. And I used to think that too. So that becomes true for most people. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. The world needs employees. We are not all meant to start businesses. Not at all. And that's not the only way to have a great income. But consider all of the possible ways that you could increase your income this year. There's a number of ways that it could work. You could get a promotion that comes with a raise, or you could just get a raise even without the promotion. Or you could get a new job offer altogether, or you could get a side gig. You could get a second job or start a little business that you just run on the side for a second source of income. Or you could sell off a bunch of stuff that you don't need anymore, you've been hanging on to, put it in savings. You could get an inheritance. You could win the lottery if you play it. You could write a book. There's another source of income. Self-publish it on Amazon. Hell, I just did that. So right there, I think I just listed like 7 ways that you can make money, many of which can be done together, concurrently. You've got to let go of this belief that that you have one source of income. I have multiple streams of income. I coach clients through, I do coaching, but then I also do resume writing. Now I have my book that I published, and I actually still recruit on the side. There's 4 sources of income right there. Okay. And I'm always looking for more, for new ones. So that's the difference too, is that you've limited yourself to one avenue of making money. And that is very, very limiting right there. Maybe that's enough to change things for you. Think about a second stream of income that you could create concurrently with what you're doing right now. Right now, up until now, you've only allowed yourself one way for money to come in. But what if you dared, just what if you dared to allow yourself a second new creative way to make money? And it didn't mean going out and getting a new job or even a whole second full-time job. What if there was a compromise, something that you had never even thought of that existed? Phew, mind blown, right? So let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I have more actionable ideas for you on how you can start making more money, on actions you can take, new things you can consider. I've got some great ideas from you. Okay, we'll be right back. Hey everyone, while the show takes a short break, I want to let you know about a book that I recently wrote. That's right, a book. It's called Career Uprising. Unlock your potential and advance your career. And it walks you through how to bring about massive change in your career. And I'm talking about real, lasting change at the deepest levels. You'll learn more about my own career journey and the exact techniques that I have used to create my own success. So if you want to make a big move in your career, but you don't know how, or don't think that you have the courage, go to Amazon.com and purchase the book. It's called Career Uprising, Unlock Your Potential and Advance Your Career. And it's an ebook, so you'll be able to download it through the free Amazon Kindle app and start reading it instantly. And I've priced it very low cost, so you have nothing to lose. I know that you will get massive value from it. All right, let's get back to the show. And we are back. So, what we're talking about here is this crazy, crazy notion that I've put into your brain that says that money does not have to be tied solely to your day job. What if there were other ways that you could make money? And it may not be as radical as you think. But would that make a difference for you? Is that even possible for you? And what stops us, I kind of alluded to this before, sometimes is the fact that we don't know how it's going to happen. But so what we do when we don't know how to do something, we usually do nothing, right? We don't take action. We don't do anything because we think, well, if I don't know how to do it, well, then I guess I can't do anything, right? Wrong. Okay, so here's where I'm going to hopefully blow your mind with a moment of truth, okay? You don't need to know how to do something in order to manifest it in your life. Okay? Thomas Edison didn't know how he was going to invent the telephone. He just started doing it. He just started trying. Okay? Other people who had great inventions didn't know when they started how it was going to work. They just got started. They were willing to try and be wrong in order to get to being right. And they believed that it was possible. So first, you have to want it and believe it to be possible and then take action towards it. And pretty much any action will do. Even if you don't know if it's right, the how will come later in the process. You'll gain clarity as you follow your curiosity and do different things. So you might even recall I did a 3-part series, maybe about 6 months ago, something like that, on changing careers. And I called it the what, the why, and the how. So those were the 3 parts, the what of changing careers, the why, and the how. Notice that the last step is the how. That is the last thing that you typically figure out when you are making a change in your life. So use that same process with your situation with money. Don't worry right now about how it's going to happen. Believe that it's possible and just start brainstorming any ideas you can, anything at all. Okay? So here's a few ideas to get you started, to just trigger your thought, and then you can take it from there, right? So here are 5 simple actions that you could potentially consider or take, no matter what you do for a living, to get yourself on a better track. All right. Number 1, start being more generous. It takes money to be able to give money. Would you agree with me that you can't give something that you don't have? So if yes, then would you also agree that the more you give, the more you must have? Okay. So that means the more I freely and joyfully give my money away, the more money I must have, the more I must be in a position to be able to do that. And that feels good. So stop being stingy. Give to charity, give to family, be more willing to pay your bills, whatever you have to do. I'm not saying just, walk down the street throwing 20s everywhere, but I'm saying when you have an opportunity to give money away to something that you feel maybe is necessary or worthy, do it and do it joyfully and do it maybe more than you have to. If you hold on to it, it's because you don't think you're going to get more. And then that will become true. Well, it's already true for you, right? And if what you're doing now is not working, try something new. Okay. So number 1 is start being more generous. Number 2, know your worth. Okay. So thinking now about your job, what you do for a living. Do you really know what your job is worth? out on the market? Have you researched it? Maybe you're underpaid. It's possible. Plenty of people are. A lot of women are underpaid, but men too. Do some research. Make sure that you are being paid the fair market price for your industry and your experience level. And if you're not, I want you to ask for a raise. And I want you to let me coach you on how to do it. No, you don't have to, but I can if you need help. All right. You could have money waiting for you right there without having to change jobs. But you have to believe that the answer could be yes. And you have to be willing to hear no. But it's worth the try. Isn't it worth the try? So consider that. Know your value for what you're doing now and make sure that you're being paid in line for that. People negotiate raises every day. It is not that unusual. It may feel uncomfortable if you've never done it before, but it's normal. People do it all the time. Number 3, find another income stream. Okay, so I was alluding to this before. Beyond what you do in your day job, what other talents do you have? What other value do you have? Here's a great example in my family, okay? My husband's uncle just retired recently from the government, worked like pretty much his whole career, I think, in the government, doing like technical work. But interestingly, he's a fabulous artist. He does drawings and paintings, and he's really talented, but he's never done anything financial with it. And that's okay. You don't have to do that. But everyone in the family has always been like, oh my God, you should sell your paintings. These are so good. We're all like blown away because we can't make gorgeous works of art like this, right? So it's amazing to us. But he's never really, I don't think he's ever really believed maybe enough, or just maybe hasn't had the interest, I don't know, to actually sell them or, promote it more as a business. But that's, whether he does or doesn't matter, but I'm just using that as an example to tell you people often have more than one talent. That could, if he wanted, be a potential extra source of income, is selling artwork, whether to galleries or individuals or on a website, anything like that. That's a beautiful example of how somebody could make more money without changing their day job. Or it could be if he wants to do it now that he's retired, that could be an income retirement. There you go. What other talent do you have that you have not developed yet? Could you write and self-publish a book that you know a topic about? Do you know how easy it is to self-publish on Amazon these days? Oh my God. It's really easy. You can do it. You can do it. Okay, what about consulting or a side project? Wealthy people, I've told you this, rarely have one source of income. Maybe you should think about joining that group, right? Okay, there's some food for thought. So, number 4, consider investments. Have you ever sat down with a financial advisor? Funny thing is, I actually just emailed my financial advisor to sit down a couple of days ago to sit down for a retirement planning session. So I walk the talk here, guys. Consider it. Maybe they could advise you investing in stocks or real estate or something else. My father's retired. He's active in the stock market. He does well. He's learned all about it, and that's a source of income for him. Has nothing to do with a 9-to-5 job. I want you to expand your mind right here, okay? There are other sources of income beyond your job, okay? And why other people? Why not you, right? Why not learn a new skill that's marketable, that you can do, that you enjoy for fun on the side? It could be writing, it could be art, it could be music, it could be a lot of different things. But anyway, I digress. Consider, I think I got off topic there, guys. I'm getting into this. Consider investments. Sit down with a financial advisor, okay? And get their advice. They know about money. They know how to create wealth. Why not use them as a resource? Ask them if there's anything you can be doing to increasing your return on investment or to increase your savings, any plan better for retirement, anything like that, okay? Help is out there. Number 5, then when all else fails, absolutely, you can go get a new job or go into a totally different career path that makes more money. Feel free. My point is, though, that doesn't always have to be the answer. I don't want you to limit yourself to that, but you can do that. Sometimes that is the answer. And like I said, not everyone is cut out for working for themselves and starting a business. That is one fabulous option, but it doesn't have to be for you. You can research career paths that make more money that you are interested in, okay? There are good paying jobs out there. And people reinvent themselves professionally all the time. I've done it twice and made more money both times I changed careers. I went from retail management to human resources to now owning a coaching practice. And who knows what I'll be doing 5 years from now? Maybe it'll be the same. I don't know. But each time I made more money. Okay. All right, guys. I feel like I've given you a lot to sink your teeth into. I feel like I shouted at you a little bit. That's all right. I get really into it. I'm really passionate. This is what it's like to coach with me. I have a hard time curbing my enthusiasm for you guys sometimes. But that's a wrap for episode 37. If you like what you hear, and I always hope and pray that you do, consider working with me. I would love to help you take your career to the next level. And I know we can do it together, all right? And I will help you apply all of the principles of this show to your life in your own situation. How powerful would that be? All right. But until then, till next time with my new topic, I want you to go out there, be brave and be beautiful and be you. And I'll talk to you next time. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard today, please consider giving the show a positive review on iTunes. It would mean a lot to me, and it would help to spread the word so that others can learn about the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to connect with you again next time on Career Uprising.
This show is brought to you by inflowradio.com, the best curated talk radio network for personal development, wellness, spirituality, and conscious business.